Hebrews chapter 12. For hence also we having a cloudy of witnesses of such an outgrowth lying around us, all every weight having set away, also the well about standing failance, we should run through below abidance, the wrestle lying before us, seeing a way toward the ark leader and accomplisher of the faithing, Jesus, who instead of the joy lying before him, below abode on the stake, despising the shame, besides having taken seat in at the right hand of the throne. For this cause, up consider him, the one having below abode, under such controverting from the failures toward themselves, so that you may not stagger as ones outloosening yourselves, due to your souls. Not yet long extending unto blood did you withstand all regardingly, when wrestling against failance. And you have been made to forget out completely concerning the beside call, which thoroughly works to you as to sons. My son, do not see as little the chastisement from the Lord, but do also not outloosen yourselves, being convicted by him. For whom the Lord loves he chastises, but he scourges every son whom he receives beside. Into chastisement you below abide as to sons, God is offering to you in this manner, for who is a son whom the Father does not chastise? But if you are without chastisement, of which they all have become cohavers, consequently you are deviants and not sons. Thereafter that abides, we had the fathers of our flesh as chasteners, and chide them. Shall we not much more become subordinated to the Father of the spirits, and we will live? For this cause in which that abides, they chastise for a few days, according to the deeming that was to them, but this one to the expedience that we partake of his holiness. That abides every chastisement for the one being present is deemed not to be for joy, but for sadness. But hereafter it gives peaceable fruit of righteousness to those having been exercised through it. Therefore correct the hands, having become flaccid, and the knees, having been paralyzed, and make correct running tracks for your feet, so that the one which is limping may not be twisted out, but much more be healed. Pursue peace with all, and the hallowing, without which not one will eye the Lord. As heeding on ones, that not one be lacking the grace of God, that also not any root of bitterment sprout upward, may innerly molest, and through this the many then may be besmirched. That not any one be a horror or profane one as Esau, who for one food gave the pre-birthright of himself. For this cause you perceive that also afterwards, wanting to allot law accordingly the blessing, he was examined away, for he did not find a place of co-thinking, even also seeking it extraordinarily with tears. For this cause you have not come to the mountain being touchingly grasped, and having been made burning with fire and dusk and gloom and whirlwind, and to the echo of a trumpet and the voice of talks, which those hearing did refuse, when word was set to them. For this cause they did not carry that being before thoroughly charged. And so if a hunting beast should come into contact with the mountain, it will be cast with stones. And thus fearsome was that being fantastic, that Moses said, extraordinarily fearing am I, and extraordinarily trembling. But you have come to Mount Zion and to the city of the living God, to the heavenly on Jerusalem, and to 10,000 of angels, to the all convocation, and to the outcalled of the aforeborn ones, those having been recorded in the heavens, and to God the judge of all, and to justified spirits of those accordingly accomplished, and to Jesus the mediator of the young covenant, and to the blood of sprinkling, speaking better beside that of Abel. Look, see that you do not refuse the speaking one, for if those did not outflee, having refused the one verifying himself on the earthland, much more we who are turning away from him who is from the heavens, whose voice shook the earthland then, but now it has been promised, saying, still once more, I will make quake, not only the earthland, but for this cause also the heaven. But the still once more making obvious the displacement of those being shaken, as of those having been made, so that those not being shaken may abide. Therefore, beside taking an unshakable regency, we have grace through which we worship God well pleasingly, with well taking and bonding. For also our God is a down consuming fire,